Now tell me why this man feels it's necessary, appropriate, any of that, to be posting shit like this on X. Don't I just feel like a massive, massive tit today? I've come across the most mind-blowingly ridiculous and racist and disgraceful things from Cody Hawken, who, if you don't know, is Mikayla's ex-husband. Let's just have a look. We're diving straight into what he's been saying. I'm not impressed. I don't feel like this is the kind of thing that you should be posting online. You shouldn't even be thinking things like this, never mind sharing it or reposting it. This man is unhinged in all the worst ways. Yeah, maybe Mikayla's got something to do with that, but there's no excuse for racism. Before I show you the first thing that I have a massive issue with, I am just going to say, for those of you who are like, well, why are you so bothered about it? I am half Indian. My dad is Indian. Full Indian. No part of him is English. He's full Indian. Yes, I am light, but that is because my mum is white. So naturally, I am going to be light. So now that that's out of the way, let's have a look at this stupid man's post. Maybe it's tight to call him stupid, but to be honest, I don't care. And you're gonna see why now. I was scrolling on TikTok and just looking through Google, seeing what was like kind of happening, specifically with Mikayla, because I've seen a few videos that aren't related to this video, so I'm not gonna give details, but I was trying to research something for a different video, and I've come across this shit. Next time an Indian shows up in your comment section, use this GIF. Which, okay, some people might find that funny. I don't. I instantly think, why do you need to bring race into it? Why does it matter if they're Indian or not? Weird. So at first I didn't think much of it, but then I saw the name of the man who had shared that originally. Aryan Molester. Weird. So because I'd noticed this really weird name, that made me look at the comments underneath and kind of take it in a little more. I scrolled down and a lot of the comments were in, you know, disgust, shall we say. They weren't supporting what this original poster had posted, but then I got to this comment saying, how to greet an Indian. So instantly my thoughts on him have changed. I don't like him. I think he's clearly racist, or enabling racist people by reposting their racist bullshit on your page. That ain't right. So do you know, all these times I've been saying, oh, poor Cody, we really need to give him a break. No, we don't need to give him a break, because he's obviously got something missing up there. And I don't want anyone to try and tell me that it's because he's going through a lot. I don't give a shit now. I don't care what this man's going through. That has no relevance. It has no correlation. None of that. It doesn't justify him being racist or posting things that are racist. Whilst the original post might not be seen as racist to everybody, how to greet an Indian with a man covering his nose. That's then Cody's job as a normal functioning member of society to delete that post. He could have changed it, he didn't, he chose not to. So, moving on to today's topic. I must have scrolled down so far on Cody Hawken's Twitter page, X page, to find this. Seriously. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I feel like it's an insight again into just where his mind is right now. So, I scrolled down. I got to the 2nd of July, and there is this that Cody has posted to his X account. I'm going to refer to it as Twitter, just because I feel like it's going to get quite confusing saying X when we're talking about Cody being an ex. So let's refer to it as Twitter. So, 2nd of July on Cody's Twitter page. Does anyone have clips of my former domestic partner talking shit? Courts soon, and she has not held up her end of the bargain of not talking about each other in negative or comparative lights. And I think it's time I learn exactly what has been said about me that she has said, or even more importantly, what she has not defended me from. First of all, Cody, hun, you don't need defending from anything. You're racist. We don't care. See you later. Move on with your life. Then later on, I guess after everyone had been commenting, he put, "Thank you everyone, I believe I have enough. I got so close to ignoring the whole thing till the end, but hey, what can you do? Lol. What can you do? Lol. Well, you could try not being racist. You could try being a bit of a better human. You could try posting a little bit more positively. Reposting people's positive experiences rather than racist bullshit. Try that, hun. Try it. You might like it. I have not got a second of my time, any kind of time for racist people. Take yourself somewhere else. See yourself out. Don't want to know. Don't care. And I don't mean I don't care about racism. I mean I don't care about the stupid little insignificant person who is spouting all this hate. For once, I feel like I'm more on Mikayla's side. Because what do you mean? What do you mean you're so comfortable reposting racist things? And then on top of that, all the shit that he's posting about Donald Trump. You need help. Speak to a therapist. Literally do anything other than what you're doing, posting all this rubbish on X, Twitter. You're making yourself look at it. It's Lee Andrews all over again, but just in different circumstances. Weird. So of course comments on this post of his on Twitter were like, just check her TikTok. To which he replied, I have never had TikTok, not starting now. Other people were like, what did you do to her to make her this upset though? She ain't said shit bad about you, grow up. I mean she has, so that's a lie. I would have helped you but she blocked me for defending you. I don't follow her but I think she just implies negative things without saying them directly. She kinda does most of the time. As we've seen in previous videos and of all her videos on TikTok, she does make regular sly comments like,
you can take all my fucking money, but you ain't taking my babies.
If I were her, I wouldn't even give him the time of day. I wouldn't think about him and nothing. You're out of it, that's it. See you later, Cody. Ignore him. She hasn't said anything bad, just that for her own mental health, she had to leave. She said she will never divulge why. Hope you're okay. Which video? I don't hope he's okay. I'm sorry, that might sound really tight, but I don't hope he's okay. I hope he's really mad with himself for being the way he is. And I'm not talking about all his struggles with addiction, I'm talking about being racist. And I know, I'm sorry, you might think I'm just holding on to this too much or making it into something that it's not, but it really is. People like him are the reason why we have such an issue with racist people. Racism is just everywhere and it's people like him who are enabling it and making it worse. Go boil your head, Cody. Which video? The one where she says you never took her out to dinner or the one where she says you never ate her for dinner? A little bit inappropriate, but I do like that comment. There are people on there that have whole compilations of the shade she's constantly throwing. She takes subtle and not so subtle jabs constantly. Have a friend spend some time on TikTok on other people's videos who already have it compiled for you, lol. This is one of my favourites. Make a Reddit account. You are a weird unknown name that nobody will know. Just don't comment anything that people may figure out it's you. But that's where I watch the Beast's videos now. I don't want her getting a cent off me watching her on TikTok, and she has been slamming you. Ooh! Ooh, Angela, bitchy. Go to the subreddit snack page, Cody. There are truckloads of videos there for you. I'm so sorry to hear her say these things about you. Breaks my heart. I'm a recovering addict and I know the struggles. Yes, okay. None of this is about addiction, okay? My video anyway, this video is not about addiction. That's a separate issue for Cody. That is obviously a massive struggle. Addiction is nothing to joke about. It's nothing to make fun of or slander someone over. But we're not talking about addiction here. We're talking about his relationship with Mikayla and the fact that he just seems to have gone off the rails. What are you doing, Cody? Focus on, you know, divorce proceedings in court rather than just spouting pure hate on Twitter. And again, some of you might think, well, it's not hate, but it is, isn't it? It's racism, and then there's absolutely just tens, hundreds of posts about Donald Trump and just everything that's going on in the US right now. And yes, he does live in the US, so he is going to talk about it. But the things he's saying is almost, to me, it feels, in my opinion, far right. He seems to be in that mindset of, you know, it's black and white, it's this or that. It's all or nothing. And I can't really fully describe why I feel that way, but that's purely the vibe I'm getting from him. Take a seat, Cody. Reevaluate your life. Work out where you want to go from here. Stop spreading hate. And shut up. That's all you need to do. Honey. Oh, she's a bitch for sure. She gives off narcissistic vibes. Even saying words like domestic abuse. I wish you well, Cody. I really do. Her and those other two witches can rot. Be strong. Well, Kaj, if that's your name, you're kind of being a bitch now, aren't you? You're being a bitch with that comment. Would love to hear your side of the story. I think you dodged a bullet, to say the least. Everything that comes out of her mouth is a lie. Yes and no. She obviously tells the truth sometimes, but she does lie a lot of the time, yeah. It's probably a marketing tactic. She's very clever when it comes to the business side of things. But again, find something that she's lied about where Cody is concerned, because yes, she's being bitchy and she's thrown a lot of shade about Cody and their relationship, but that is very different to lying, straight up lying about things. So I'm going to need to do a little bit more research into that and have a look and see if there is, but from what I have spoke about and know of, I don't feel like that's a fact. But obviously I misunderstood Cody's post. I think he is, you know, I think he's posted this with the intentions of trying to get information that will help him in court, you know, help his side, not necessarily lies that she's told, just things that she's said. So that's me getting a bit carried away with the comments, because the next one is, you need to do your homework. She said many things you can use against her in court, starting with the fact that she admitted to now dating a guy who she was in contact with since high school, her ex-boyfriend, and talked during marriage and divorce. It's basically... that kind of didn't make sense, but what that person is trying to say is that she was speaking to Zach before they got together. They'd been in contact for the last 10 years, and so she were possibly cheating. Possibly speaking to him before she should have been, which of course is wrong. We're not gonna praise her for that. We're not gonna be on her side for that. We're not gonna say, Mikayla, it's okay, honey, because it isn't. Just like Cody isn't okay. I'm sure you will get those clips. Go to Reddit, you will for sure see clips from her TikTok slamming the marriage and making jokes, also indirectly speaking about you. Ooh, what hasn't she said? A lot about Reddit and just the Reddit snark pages and things like that, but you know, it's funny. It's all a bit funny to me. Because one part of me thinks, has Mikayla just gone so far that she's pushed Cody over the edge and now he wants to get everything that he can by gathering all the evidence he can? Or is it all part of the marketing tactics? Is it all part of her plan to push her brand out there? And I know this may seem a little far-fetched, but in my head it is a possibility. The thought of them being in on this and all for a publicity stunt, that thought is in my head still, because worse things have happened, stranger things have happened, and let's be honest, the amount that Mikayla will be receiving and would receive with all of this, you know, from the publicity and everything like that, she could give Cody a lot. So in my head, if the marriage wasn't real, it was all, you know, bought and paid for by Elf Cosmetics, if that was part of a marketing tactic and it was a publicity stunt, who's to say that all of this isn't too? Maybe that's just me, again, being delulu or, you know, a bit of a conspiracy theorist or something. But it is a possibility. I would definitely not put that past her. And now that I've seen kind of more of who Cody is, I won't put it past him either. I think, to be honest, they're both made for each other. Zach seems like a very innocent, sweet party in all of this, and I can't really work out where he fits in. Of course, it's not my relationship, I don't know, but I feel like they're just very different. I feel like Mikayla's almost putting this act on. And this is going to sound crazy, but please just hear me out, because it's not, you know, it's not, I don't mean it how I'm going to say it, but Mikayla is giving the vibes of almost like love bombing Zach, like narcissists do, like abusers do. I'm not saying she is at all, but over the last few months of her being in this relationship with Zach, she seems to be very, everything's fine and dandy, I've got no issues, I'm not a hot-headed little psychopath, and she's kind of the opposite of that. She is very, you know, she's admitted to us all on the internet that she is very hot-headed, that she is very dominant, she's very loud and swears a lot and, you know, all of this. But then you see a totally different side to her in the videos that she posts with Zach. And it makes me wonder, who are you? What is your personality? What is your true personality? Do you have a personality disorder where you just don't know and you can't, you've kind of got no real personality for yourself and you kind of just like absorb bits of other people's? What is it? Something is going on with them all, and it feels so weird. It feels like we're in an episode of Black Mirror or something. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but it's a bit weird, no? I just think, to be honest, let's look at some more things that Cody has posted just to get a bit of a clearer image on where his head is at the moment, because it all seems so sudden and explosive, and it's quite terrifying to see from Cody, because he's always kept so quiet, he's always stayed out of the limelight, and now he's on Twitter asking people to send him clips of his ex to use in court, and it all just seems like he's reached his breaking point. Not that I have any sympathy for him, because as I've said at the start of this video, he's obviously enabling racist people. So yeah, there were lots of people suggesting Reddit, going there, and the snack page is on there to get all the clips that he needed for court. But let's go through some more of the comments. Her TikTok is filled with her talking shit about you, unfortunately. I'm happy to screen record and send. You spent most of the marriage in rehab, so who cares about it now? She has only said positive things and some innuendos. Unfortunately, it's TikTok dragging you both and fake AI, but she's slammed, insulted and dragged over you daily. You didn't contribute, so concentrate on you. I agree to an extent, but clearly, as we're going to find out, and as we have already found out in this video, he's not innocent, in my opinion. She recently just said in her videos that this is the first time her partner has paid for something before. I can get the video for you to show you, throwing slight digs at you by saying she's always had to pay for stuff before and the internet apparently don't know the full story. I don't think there's an issue with that. Yes, she probably is going to be paying for things because she is the one who's making the most money in that relationship. If she had a problem with it, she should have voiced her opinions in the relationship whilst they were together. But at the same time, that's not saying anything good or bad about it, that is just stating a fact. So she's allowed to say that, surely. You deserve so much better. She is milking the whole divorce and profits off it. True. This new version of her is so tone deaf. I hope you're doing well. Keep your chin up. I mean, she has said a few things, like about how you can take all her money but not her dogs. How her current relationship is the best she's ever been in. How she had to leave your marriage. She just talks and talks and talks. I mean, there's an entire TikTok that's pinned of her saying that she left you for reasons that'll eventually come out. We're all Team Cody, you're worth more than that. I was Team Cody up until you started posting stupid things on the internet. Racist things on the internet. Yeah, he's going through a lot, but again, I'll say it ain't a justification for racism. None of this justifies being racist. Sorry, Cody. Addiction, not a justification for racism. Divorce doesn't justify being racist. Or just an absolute arsehole. Again, as we're going to come to find out. The only thing that stuck with me was her saying you're not a big eater. That, okay, I agree. Some things shouldn't be shared on the internet, Mikayla. That is one of them. Maybe the one where she said you never ate her out. Or any time she's ever talked about your recovery journey, actually. See if you can get an AI to scrub her account for your name and demand half of whatever she made from every single video she mentions you in. I'm not sure on, you know, the legal side of all of this, but I'd imagine that's not going to hold up in court. I don't know how it is over in the US, but if I was to take an educated guess, in the UK that wouldn't hold up in court. Just because a lot of these videos that she's made about Cody, talking about him, mentioning his name, admittedly, she's not slandering him. Yes, she's given a little bit of insight into how her marriage was, but that's just her opinion. Surely that's not something that can be used in court. Again, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd imagine not. This is another comment that I absolutely love from Jane. Talking shit as in saying you broke with an addiction, because that's true. Not to be bitchy or, you know, slagging the man off because he's broken as an addiction, because half the population is, but karma, gentle Jesus. Post shit, you will receive shit. Show your true colours, that you're an arsehole, and you will invite arseholes. You know? Speaking a little bit about addiction now, and I don't want this to kind of come across like I'm slagging him off for having an addiction. Obviously, as I've said before, it is a very, very, very difficult thing to deal with. I can't imagine being him and having to go through that. But some of these posts that he's making on Twitter are telling me that he just isn't in the right headspace. And I think a lot of it does have to do with his journey with addiction and recovery. For example, 3 days ago, which at the time of filming this would have been the 3rd or 4th of July, Cody reposted this to his Twitter. Clearly, the original post of that was a joke. A joke in very bad taste, in my opinion, but regardless, a joke. In my opinion, someone who struggles with addiction or has been known to struggle with addiction and is on the road to recovery should not be posting things like that. Really, you shouldn't be looking at videos like that either. I don't think that's going to have a positive impact on your recovery. And this isn't the main issue, this is just a start of what I'm about to explain and why I think he's experiencing some kind of struggle when it comes to his recovery journey. But that video, reposting that, it's not helping him at all. People are seeing this, obviously, naturally, like they're gonna. And all that's gonna make people think is that he possibly is still taking drugs. And not that it's right, but a lot of the time, people struggle to believe people who are taking drugs. So this is not going to help his case. This isn't going to help him in court. If he stood there in front of a judge trying to explain that he is a victim, essentially, of Mikayla's, I believe that with him being so up and down with his posts, that's going to have some kind of negative impact. Because let's be honest, Mikayla isn't doing all that. And I know in divorce proceedings, they will obviously take the emotional turmoil that comes with it on board. But I don't think he's helping himself at all, is what I'm trying to say. That is not going to help his case. The issue here is that this post of, you know, the UK police. It's not actually the police in the UK, it's just somebody dressed up as a police officer. It was intended as a funny kind of post to show that, in my opinion, that the police in the UK just aren't serious most of the time. They don't really do the job brilliantly. So that was obviously a post of someone dressed up in a police uniform, but obviously they weren't police officers because they would not play into this. They would not have time to do this, and they wouldn't damage their reputation by having someone post something like this. But what I'm trying to say is that video that we have just watched comes just after, on the same day, this post that he reposted. It's this photo here, "Lose your soul with alcohol." And it says, "What if alcohol was never meant for human consumption? What if, rather than being a harmless indulgence or social lubricant, it was in fact a carefully crafted poison, released by the parasites during Satan's little season, with one aim alone, to sever humanity from its divine spark?" Think about it, the very word alcohol is believed to trace back to the Arabic al-kul, meaning the body-eating spirit. Even more unsettling, it is tied linguistically to the idea of drawing out or detaching, precisely what the drink does to the soul. This isn't coincidence. Words carry power, and the parasites who manipulate language knew exactly what they were doing. Why else would alcohol be called spirits? Because it's not your spirit that grows stronger when you drink it, but theirs. As the liquid burns down your throat, the parasites feed. They thrive on disconnection, the tearing apart of flesh from soul, mind from heart, man from creator. Every hangover, every blackout, every moment of regret is a little victory for them. I wonder if in the old world, the one our history books have been scrubbed clean of, alcohol may have been known, but it was never weaponised. People lived in harmony with nature, energy flowed freely, technology resonated with the ether, and connection to the divine was direct, unfiltered and unshakable. To poison oneself deliberately would have been absurd. Why would a civilization in alignment with the Creator willingly dim its light? But then came the parasites. They infiltrated, dismantled and rewrote. They gave us rulers who toasted with wine, priests who sanctified blood red wine, and empires that shipped barrels of rum and gin to every corner of the world. What we see as tradition is in truth indoctrination. What we call culture is really enslavement. And here's the sinister brilliance of it. Alcohol was marketed not as poison but as pleasure, a false joy and a false connection. At first it relaxes you, makes you laugh, convinces you that you are more social, more daring and more alive. But peel back the veil and you'll see it is nothing but illusion. It clouds the mind, corrodes the body and most of all fractures the soul's tether to source. In those moments of drunkenness, when consciousness wavers, the parasites take the wheel. They whisper, they sow chaos and they tighten the chains. And I feel like that definitely has a massive part to play in why I feel like he's struggling, because what do you mean you're posting about alcohol being bad and then 2 minutes later, on the same day, mind you, posting a video he obviously found funny of UK police officers, you know, taking lines of coke. I think that's weird. Yeah, I think that's really weird, and it almost acts as like a little window into his mind, because that's unhinged. You're going from one extreme to the other, you're going from one idea to the other, you're going from thinking and wanting to lead other people to believe that alcohol is basically the devil, but then later on that day you're finding humour in drug taking and basically everything that you're trying to recover from. He's clearly struggling, there's no denying that, but I just think, first of all, like I've said, it's not helping you. Second, do you really want to give Mikayla, if she is seeing any of this, does Cody really want to give her that ego boost kind of thing? I'm not sure if that's the right word, but if she sees these posts, she's going to know he's struggling. And I don't know if it's just me with, you know, pride being a massive issue for some reason, but I personally wouldn't want them to see me crashing out on the internet. Friends and family, yeah? Friends and family, not the internet, not Twitter, not YouTube, not Instagram, not Facebook, not TikTok. None of the above. And crashing out is what I feel is the best way to describe what Cody is exhibiting right now, because again, 3 days ago, this is another one. He just posted a link. When you open the link, it just says nothing to see here yet. Now, I'm not, who knows what that means. But given the amount of just mind-blowing things that he's posting, mind-blowing in the sense that it just doesn't, it's all over the place, it don't make sense. It's kind of like what I'd imagine psychosis to be like a little bit, like mild psychosis, if that's a thing. Obviously it's not, and I'm not a medical professional, I'm not diagnosing him with anything. It's just my opinion and what I feel from what he is exhibiting. And then again, on the same day, I don't know, maybe CERN shutting down is doing it to me, which, if you don't know what CERN is, or however you pronounce it, it's supposed to be the world's most powerful accelerator. But again, like all over the place. And I guess people who know Cody, it probably will make sense to them, but as someone who doesn't know him and is seeing all of this kind of unfold on the internet, it is concerning. It's worrying. It's unsettling to a degree. And then of course, as you can see, these next two, because remember folks, none of us know really. And then this one. What's also funny is she set my messages to gulag status, and no matter what I fucking press, my shit just fails to send. I've been raw dogging X posts only since my freedom 6 months ago. RIP in pieces. It's unsettling. It's unsettling. It makes me worry about the people around him, and I don't want to accuse him of anything, but he seems very dangerously unhinged at the moment. Very unhinged is quite insensitive. I mean, very dangerously unbalanced, emotionally dysregulated, unregulated, whatever the word is. He just seems like he needs help. This is like a massive cry for help. And really, even though I don't like him, I really hope there is someone close to him that can help him, because this is not the way to do it. This isn't the way you should be going forward. And it doesn't show that you are building your strength back up and moving on. It's showing everyone the total opposite. So in that last post, the comments are 6 months. Why is she saying over a year? Which is the first thing I find interesting, because yeah, she did say it's over a year. Mikayla doing her big take a minute, take it all in post. She said it was over a year. Cody saying 6 months? I hope he's not referring to the divorce or the breakup, because 6 months is obviously nowhere near a year. It's half. And if that's the case, then the timings of her new relationship really don't add up. She has literally almost implied that she was being physically abused. She said, would you guys recommend that someone stay in a marriage that was being abused? Not saying that happened to me, but I'm just saying. Weird she would use that example. Also, something about your sex lives. You know my opinion on that. Obviously, not everything should be on the internet. That is definitely one of them. It's a bit of a grey area for me. I think if you're that much of a public figure, then no. Take it to a therapist, couples counselling, something like that. Not aunties on the internet. On X, I don't do DMs, but from me personally trying to deactivate them altogether, I know that's not really possible. What could she have done to your account? Child safety in your iPhone settings maybe? All in all, you're a good person who has always tried to better himself. You are someone to look up to. Keep shining and remember the truth always comes to the light. God don't like ugly and her soul is. Glad you're in a better place. God also don't like racism, but Cody's out here doing that. She throws shade at you every chance she gets. True. Throw her under the bus. She said she has been with Zach for a year. I mean, who knows? Mikayla could just be rounding it up, but it is her responsibility as such a large public figure, a celebrity, to be honest, because she knows there's going to be internet sleuths, investigations, so to speak, happening when she originally announced her divorce. So, yes, She probably should be a little more accurate when she's giving the timelines of things. But I think we can give her a little bit of a break on that. I'm not sticking up for her by any means. Not everything she says all the time is going to be exactly how it happened at the exact time that it happened. She might be a bit hazy when it comes to the timing of things. I know I am. I couldn't tell you when my last relationship was. I know in my head it was sometime around 2023, but I couldn't give you specific timings and how long things lasted. So, that aside. Whoa. She has put restrictions on you? Can't you get a new device? She is making it sound like you were so horrible to her. Your lawyers need to look into her so much. Plus, and then they sent a screenshot of severe financial disparity. My best advice for Cody, if I was, you know, a friend of his, close to him, knew of him, whatever, would be to speak to your lawyers, speak to your solicitors, speak to anybody that is involved directly with your court hearings in your court case. But this next post, this next little repost of Cody's is exactly another reason why I just don't like him anymore. I won't support him. I won't feel bad for him. If I'm being 100% totally honest, I think he's as bad as Mikayla. And here's why. 4 days ago, he reposted this. The blue collar Ozempic has been around for 100+ years. With the photo being when I realised I could smoke a cigarette instead of binge eating. If that isn't a low blow, I really don't know what is. To basically get on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and take the piss out of your ex-wife. That's what that is. Cody has known for years that Mikayla has had an issue, a disorder, specifically a binge eating disorder. So, you can't tell me that that's just a coincidence. He's posted that knowing his ex-wife has struggles with eating disorders, has a history of having eating disorders, like I say, specifically binge eating. It's a low blow. And to be honest, after that, after all of this, I wouldn't even be sad or feel sorry for him if things didn't go his way in court. Because what do you mean? What do you mean when you're posting these things? If you don't know, I have had struggles in the past when it comes to eating. I've had an eating disorder when I was younger. And since then, nothing has been the same. Your relationship with food changes. Your relationship with yourself changes and the way that you view yourself. A lot of things can come with having an eating disorder. And it ain't something to take the piss about. It's that simple. It is nothing to joke about. As a grown man, he should know better. Go off posting what you want to post, hun. But why does it have to come back to racism, eating disorders? What I would put down to possibly religious psychosis or some kind of psychosis in the making. Something is not right, and he's just going off on Twitter. It's not going to benefit him. Again, Lee Andrews. Very Lee Andrews of him. I don't really know what is going to happen. I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. I don't know who is going to stop bad-mouthing the other first. But what I do know is if one of them doesn't bite the tongue, it's just going to explode into something so ugly and unnecessary. Almost as ugly as Cody's attitude. I don't want people to take this video as me trying to defend or stick up for Mikayla. You know how I feel about her, which is, I guess, just indifferent. I don't like her. I don't dislike her. I think she really needs to reevaluate how she goes about doing things. But also at the same time, I understand that a lot of it is a marketing tactic. As bad as it is, because she's still misleading people, still all these undisclosed ads, still the absolute queen of rage baiting and just engagement farming overall. But despite the fact that I'm not keen on her, she doesn't deserve any of this. For her ex-husband to be getting on the internet and slagging her off like this, basically trying to make a joke out of her having an eating disorder. Finding humour in racism. Just being overall unhinged. It's bad enough that she's a celebrity and everybody's watching her all the time. But to then have an ex-partner post for himself, whatever the way he's done it, posting these things, I can't imagine how it'd feel. Because I bet in the back of her mind all the time she's thinking, what's going to be next? What's he going to come out and tell everybody? And it might not be anything major, it might just be something that's personal and she doesn't want anybody to know. That is such an invasion of privacy. Just because she's a celebrity, just because she's a social media personality, a public figure, whatever, doesn't mean she doesn't deserve privacy. Everyone is entitled to that. Or at least they should be anyway. I am going to be doing a couple more videos. One being an extended video of Katie Price and Lee Andrews and the whole car crash that is their marriage. And then I want to do another one in regards to Cody. I need to do some more research into him. I need to have a look at some more of his posts because something is not right. And you know I like to find out about things that aren't right. So that's all for today's video. My next one probably will be the Katie Price and Lee Andrews extended video / looking at clips and things like that. And then followed by the part 2 to this, I think. I'll let you know in the community part of my YouTube. But for now, have a wonderful day, night, weekend, weekday, summer, winter, whatever. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if this channel is your vibe. We talk a lot on here, honey. Love you. Bye.